let's do the presentation because that's more relevant to what we discussed yesterday. Okay, so question. So, um, so what we discussed, right? Um, it's a process. It's a process. It's a mechanism, right? How the TLS establishes the connection between client and server, right? So there's nothing. Well, yeah, it is a process, right? It's a workflow, but is there any security in there? Yeah, I mean, well, it's a process in my mind, but there is no cybersecurity, right? Um, now, because that workflow, as I said, so all applications are using it. But what is the issue here? What is the problem? Do you see any problem here? You see asymmetric and symmetric, how the keys are generated, how the secret codes are generated, right? You see that's all natural, right? But where is the problem here, right? What's the issue here, right? So the issue is well, the hackers, right? That now what we discussed is the natural. So now a hacker comes in and then he of course he wants to break things, right? Hackers don't like usual way of working. They want unusual, right? Abnormal way of things, right? So how can he break the TLS that we discussed yesterday? Because that's called hacking, right? Otherwise it's natural, right? So why this pen thick? Why? Let me just close this. I don't know why the thick. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Yeah. Okay. Good. So, right. So yesterday, this is the client, and this is the server, right? And then we saw back and forth, right? Back and forth transformations yesterday. And there's this and this and all, and then the symmetric. So now the hacker comes in, right? This guy is the hacker. He comes in and then he wants to break it. So the one thing I can think of is you tap it or intercept it, right? You tap the wire or the Wi-Fi, right? Or the internet cable, right? So you try to listen, right? You sniff the traffic and you listen to the conversation. So between the client and the server, that's one thing, right? But then will he be able to read the messages? All the data being exchanged, right? Will he be able to read the messages? So that's one, well, of course, a challenge, but right. But the issue is, yeah, he can intercept and then he can capture the packets at least, right? Whether he can whether he can recover the message to the original plain English, that's a different story. But he can do it, right? So this is one, and the second part is this is the most important, right? So how do we, if you recall, right? So this is, I mean, yesterday's example, Amazon, right? So Amazon, initially they have to have two keys, right? Public key and private key, right? So public and private keys. So and then public key they're distributed. Yeah, obviously this key they're distributing. Pub keys they're distributing to all their clients, right? So all the clients they they distribute, right? So private key they keep it. They keep it to themselves. So now I mean, okay, so before I answer, so let me ask you. So do you see any problem here? again, I need problems. I mean, the security vulnerabilities, right? Or the hacking or attacking, right? So how do you see any issues here? So think like a hacker. So what can I do? So when I told you, so I can intercept and start sniffing the traffic or the packets. That's one. And what else? What else can you think of? Anyone? What are the ways that you can break into it or do something? I mean, go ahead, feel free. I mean, no, there's no hesitation. So anything is a good thing. Okay. Um, okay. So what if? So then let me ask you a different question, right? So this public key and private key, right? Um, so let's say let's say let me just all right. So Amazon has the public and private key, right? So let's say I set up my own server, right? This is the hacker, right? So this is the hacker, right? This is the hacker. I set up my own server, and then uh, I set up like Amazon.com. Maybe with a yeah. I mean, I set up okay. The domain I can spoof, right? So I can pretend that this is Amazon.com, right? I can claim that, this is, I can have a nice website, that looks exactly like Amazon, and then I can do that, right? So that's one thing, right? So it's like a spoofing, right? And then I can also have my public key and private, right? But my goal is to spoof Amazon, right? Right. That's one. That's one. So can I do that? Right? Can I do that? Then all the customers, then I in fact send out emails, to everybody. Amazon's website, right? This is the Amazon's website that looks like Amazon, right? So all the customers then will connect with me and do the transactions. That's one, right? So spoofing it, right? I spoof, right? The second thing is, let's say, um, let's say I set up a website. I set up a website, and this can be your own. Let's say Venkat.com, Venkat.com, right? Yeah, I can register. That's so easy, right? Venkat.com or any name.com, right? So .com, and then I can build a nice website. It's so easy, right? You can build a nice e-commerce website. You just display some products. You just display some product, right? Yeah, I'm selling some toys or some handicrafts or whatever, right? So you display something, and then you start selling, but it's a fake website. It's a fake website. It looks very not sophisticated. It looks genuine and real website. And when customers goes in, you take them through the checkout process, right? Checkout process where you collect their credit card number. Yeah, you collect credit card number, and then once they input the credit card number, then nothing happens. All you say is thank you for shopping with us and whatever, right? So nothing happens. It's a fake website. right? So I can do that. I can do that, right? I can do that. So in this case, right, what the customer would do typically when they navigate, right, they see, in the URL bar, the secure connection, isn't it? Like HTTPS, the green icon, green color, you see it. So through HTTPS, you connect. So that means this fake website has the public key and private key, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, they got to be, because the HTTPS is TLS, right? So TLS, as you know, it requires both symmetric and asymmetric. So they have to have the public key and private key. Right. So now in this case, it's a fake company, fake website. So the question is, can anyone start this HTTPS communication? I mean, can you do that? Can you do that? Can you set up your own server and the domain?
Yeah, you can. It's possible.
Okay, so but then where do you? Okay, yeah, okay. So you can, right? So you can. So the question is, the public and private key. How would you get it? Where do you get the public and private key?
You gotta hack into one of the accounts and create like a.
No. You this is your this is you, right? So this is your server, and this is you, and this is your www.venkat.com, and you need those keys. So where do you get it? No, forget about hacking it all. No, you're starting up your own. Let's say you weren't able to hack. You failed. You didn't have the keys. So where do you get the keys? But you want to start this business, the fake business, right? Where do you get the keys? Would you just get it? I mean, where do you go and get it?
It has to be generated, right, through server side application on the code.
Yeah. So yeah, you can generate. I mean, yesterday we did generate, isn't it? The public and private key. So we did generate. The Java code, C#, .NET, Python. They all have it. They all allow you to do it. But unfortunately, if you try to use the keys generated on your own, the browsers don't process it. Yeah, they don't accept. Those are called self-signed certificates. Those are the public and private key are part of a digital certificate. It's called a certificate, right? So if you create on your own browser, the customers cannot even navigate. Even if they try www.venkat.com, then they will get a warning message. You might have seen, maybe, this website is not it's not about security, but not trusted, certificates are not valid, certificates are not authorized, something like that. There's a pop-up comes up, and then you go back to the previous page. You will never be able to establish connections between the customer will never be able to establish a connection between his laptop and be able to connect with that website. No, he cannot. And even some browsers, they even kill it. Like, I think Firefox, I believe. So no, not Firefox. Maybe, I don't know. Some websites, they even like kill it. I mean, you cannot even navigate. The moment you say www.venkat.com, then this is not secure. You want to go back. It kills the process itself. You cannot do it. Okay, so you cannot have it. So so yeah, that's where. So if you wanted to, so that's why to prevent this, right? What the internet, there is a IEEE or something like IEEE, right? So there are some standards. So if you wanted to establish HTTPS connection, then you have to approach. You cannot. You self-sign. No, that is only learning purposes, some testing and here and there, but you in production, in reality, now you will be contacting a CA, right? So who is this CA, right? So CA is a certificate authority. So this CA, so everybody, even Amazon, right? Amazon, Google, LinkedIn, they never generate these public and private keys on their own, even though they can. I mean, even we did it. We were able to do it, right? So they have to approach the certificate authority. So then who is certificate authority? Certificate authority is like a, analogy. If I were to give you analogy, right? So this is like a DMV office, driver's license, right? Who issues the driver's license? There is a DMV, state, every state, right? So there is a Department of Motor Vehicles division or whatever, division of motor vehicles, right? So that department is the one that will verify your identity first, right? Who you are, are you a citizen or visa, whatever, right? So they verify and they take your identity, they take your fingerprints, they take your pictures. Once they establish who you are, then only, of course, you have to go to the road test and your capabilities, right? All the written test and road test. Then they issue the driver's license, and using that you can drive. So very similar. So certificate authority is the same thing. So these guys, their job is to verify if Venkat wants to sell products online, then he has to approach this certificate authority and he has to submit. He has to prove who he is, like identity, right? So that's the catch, right? So that's where they get you. So you cannot do any fraud. Yeah, I mean you can, but they know that it was you. If you played any games, any spoofing or trying to steal customers, on the fake website, or nice, fancy gadgets you posted, and customers, they come in and they try to punch in their credit card number. And once the credit card is submitted, then bingo, then you don't do anything, right? There's no product. So in that case, then if customer complains, then the government knows that it was you, because the CA's job is to verify who you are and what your domain is. They will validate the domain, venkat.com. They will collect all your ID cards. And then, in fact, if you are a facility, if you are an office, they come and visit. They take pictures, and they, everything is fully insured, and they know how to get you. Right. So once they're happy and they're good with you, then they will issue the public and private key. And how do they issue? That's where the digital certificate comes into picture. Yeah, the public and private key. So digital certificate. So this digital certificate contains the public key and private key. And then once you bring this home to your office, that's when you open. Well, it's a software. I mean, it's open up in the sense it has two files. I mean, literally, it's a file. It's the two files, and then you keep the private key with you, and then you distribute. I mean, this is basically, there's no distribution. It's basically you have to place it on your server. Like, if your website is hosted using Microsoft IIS, then there is a directory. You go and then copy that public file and then private file, and Apache server, same thing. They have configuration files, right? So just copy and paste it. So that's it. Once you copy and paste, then the server recognizes that this is a public key and this is a private key, and then now the TLS mechanism, what we discussed today, will begin. So all you have to do is basically, so you have that server and you paste it. You download from this certificate authority and then you paste it. That's it. That's all you have. Then the browsers, all the browsers are designed to only process or accept connections over the recognized the certificate authorities. Right? They know. Browser Chrome knows that these DMV offices, right? Like DMV offices, they know these CA offices. So that they know, the browser knows that, right? But if it is self-signed, if your own, no, it knows, it will reject the connection. So now, so that's why you cannot. I mean, you cannot. See, I know you might be thinking, what the heck? I mean, why? If I have to do Venkat.com, do I need to approach a CA and do I need to do that? This is now confined, guys. Okay, you don't have to. But what you do, right? When you register your domain, let's imagine when you go to GoDaddy.com, right? There are Yahoo or there are domain.com, right? So usually you would approach them. You would approach them, and they will take some money, and then they will help you with the registration, right? And they will supply the certificates. They will supply because they have a connection. They are affiliated with one of those certificate authorities, and then since you are the subscriber of this, GoDaddy.com, right? So GoDaddy is the one that verifies your identity. Then your contact, your identity. So, and then the GoDaddy will forward your identity to that certificate authority. So this way, they track you. So it's not like, you don't have to directly approach the CA, but these are the dealers, right? Yeah, the GoDaddy is a dealer. Yahoo is a dealer. These are the dealers or the middlemen. Yeah, you're broker. Maybe you can say broker, right? So they are the brokers. So they collect your ID. Yeah, they collect your ID and then they keep it, and then they communicate with the certificate authority. They get the keys from certificate authority and they pass it to you. So that's why you don't have to, because this is all the part of the package, right? So it saves your time as a customer, and you don't need to deal with all the certificate authority and all those things, right? So you straight away you can get things done. So that's how the certificate authority thing works. But because the small, we are small businesses, right? But if you are an enterprise, let's say Google, right, or Facebook, no, they don't need any broker. They directly work with the CA. So let's say if you get a job with Facebook, then there's no broker. I mean, if you are part of the job, then you will be talking to the CA. You will be talking to the CA, and the CA will give the Facebook private keys to you. I mean, directly to Facebook. There's no middleman. There's no broker, because they're big. They're big, right? Only small people I wanted to set up my own family business. Then I'm not big enough, right? So that's why I go to these brokers, and they help me, and then I have to pay them, right? So that's how the certificate authority is, right? So so that's how the public and private key work. So I have a quick presentation. Someone is waiting. I have a presentation, so let's go through that. This way it will be more clearer. So you can see, right, this presentation. So there are certain buzzwords that you need to know when it comes to these digital certificates. PKI, public key infrastructure. So when I say public key infrastructure is all I just mentioned, certificate authority, the connection with them, the verification of your domain, verification of your office, verification of your identity, right? And the inspection, like physically they come and inspect, and then they issue the certificates. And certificate is just like a driver's license. It is valid for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like that, right? So then every 2 years again you have to submit Just like, driver's license, every, I don't know, 4 years, 3 years, right? It expires. Then you have to again go to them, prove who you are, and then they will reissue, right? Very similar here. So this is all called infrastructure. So that's the PKI, PKI infrastructure. And then see public and private key pair, digital certificate authorities, registration authorities, certificate revocation list. Revocation list as well. Yeah, just like a DL, if someone gets the points, right? I don't know, if they get certain number of points, they can suspend. They can suspend the driver's license, right? Maybe DUI, under influence. If they get caught, speeding, too much speeding, they can suspend. So similarly, even if you have a business, Venka.com, and if Venka.com is a fraudulent site, or if someone complained that it's a fraud, or they're cheating, or whatever it is, right? Then that's called revocation. So certificate revocation. So they revoke your keys or digital certificate. So then your certificate, which was valid for 1 year, now it's gone. It will not work. So when it will not work means no customer can establish a connection with your server. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So you cannot be in the business anymore. Yeah, maybe you can set up a different domain. That's a different story. But that particular site, because some customers reported as a fraud, right? So that's why they do have the certificate revocation, right? So let's go through this, right? So this we don't need to because we went through this yesterday. See, digital certificate, So technically speaking, I know I use the word digital certificate, but this is how it looks. It's called, technically, the name is X509 certificate. So again, when you're working, if someone says that, oh, do you have the 509, means digital certificate. That means digital certificate. Okay, so they don't explicitly say digital certificate, X509, right? And this certificate, like when you see it, it's a file. Literally, it's a text file. Then you see these parameters, right? So, version, algorithm, because digital certificate, public key, private key, right? Algorithms, AES, RSA, and key size, and all such algorithms, right? And issuer, who issued the certificate. Yeah, there are many certificate authorities, guys. Just like New Jersey has many DMV offices, right? Connecticut has many DMV offices, by location, by city. So similarly here, the certificate authorities, there are so many. If you have ever heard of VeriSign, that is not Verizon, but VeriSign. VeriSign is a CA. DigiCert, DigiCert. That's another CA. There are many like that, right? What is it? Entrust, Entrust. Entrust is another CA. So they are the certificate DMV offices, right? So that's the issuer. And see, validity, that's where not before, not after. So that means, so they will issue a certificate. So if Venkat says that, oh yeah, my business will begin from July 1st, 2024. So that is not before. So the certificate is not valid before even, June 30. No, it will not work. It is activated only 12 a.m. 12 a.m. Midnight, July 1st. That's when the certificate is valid, and not after. Yeah, and then with an expiration of, it depends on how I'm not sure how that works, but some certificates are good for 2 years, some for 1 year. I don't know how they do it, but there is a validity, right? So then it expires. So again, when the certificate expires, again your customers cannot do business. No HTTPS connection anymore. So you have to renew it, just like a driver's license, just very similar to driver's license. Whenever you renew, again, you have to prove yourself, who you are. And you have to prove that you don't have any points. Points in the sense, no fraud, no complaints, you're clean, authentic, and natural, regular business, nothing hanky-panky, right? So they all validate that. And they see here, the subject public key info, public key algorithm, subject public key, right? All, certificate signature. These are all the standard, the cryptography parameters that are part of this certificate. Okay, so that's the digital certificate. And yeah, certified authorities, I think I have explained enough by now. So they're responsible for, they issue, they also revoke and distribute these certificates. If you pay, yeah, they will distribute it to you, to your business. And yeah, DigiCert and VeriSign, these are the prominent, not prominent. Yeah, no, I say these are popular. So because they have been there for many years. I don't know, maybe 20, whatever, right? So their job is to the same thing. They validate and they issue the certificates, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's a digital certificate. And then yeah, PK, we this is yeah, this we have discussed, but what I'm gonna briefly say that see, I mean, I know it's a very simple, Alice, and if you want to exchange, so you request a CA to get the the certificates, and then you so okay. So the good thing is, well, yeah, this is what happens is, so let's say Amazon, right? Amazon. Okay, now. Yeah, so so the question is, well, the issue, right? See, if I spoof a site, right? Let's imagine you're communicating with Amazon, right? So you have an account and then you're communicating with Amazon, right? You're shopping. So, but somehow I'm a customer, so I have a doubt. Am I really communicating with Amazon? What is the guarantee? Like, how do I believe that whatever I'm getting, the shopping cart, the shopping items, right? Products and all those things, right? How do I know that I'm getting it from Amazon? What if that Amazon.com is spoofed? Maybe some hacker took over and he spoofed Amazon.com. So I'm getting from this hackers spoofed Amazon.com. So how do I know I'm transacting, but what if it is a spoof to Amazon fake website? I mean, that's possible, right? So that's why with CA's job is, you as a customer, you can always cross-check with certificate authority. If you click on that green icon, right, HTTPS, you will see the name, who has issued that certificate for Amazon. So you can contact and you can ask them, hey, I'm communicating with this Amazon.com. Can you check this is authentic? Is this a real Amazon or fake Amazon.com? Right? They will confirm. Because again, it's like, you found someone's driver's, someone gave you a driver's license, right? How would you verify? Then you go to DMV office, right? You go to DMV office and then verify, hey, is this a real DL copy or is it a fake DL copy? Yeah, DMV will be able to check and then tell you, right? Same passion here. So the CA, the same thing. So you go back to CA and then CA will tell you, is it a good website or a fraud website? Yeah, it's not a big deal. This one, registration authorities, yeah, CA and RA, they're pretty much the same. It's just like a front office. Sometimes the CA are very busy and they outsource this verification process to this registration authorities. Oftentimes, registration authority is part of CA. In some cases, it can be it can be outsider as well, but the job is the same thing. Yeah, certificate revocation, as I said, so these certificates can say when in the case of compromised keys, if somehow, let's say, Venkat.com, right? He's all authentic and he got the digital certificate from a CA. He has the public key and private key, but somehow he misplaced his private key, or his ex-employee, or his one of the employees has copied the private key somehow accidentally, right? So, and then he stole, or he ran away, he resigned from the office. So that's not good. Then you can go back to CA, and CA can revoke that compromised key, and then they will reissue. They can reissue a new digital certificate. Remember that 509, right? So that they can issue. Yeah. Recovery agents are also there. Some companies, you can keep these keys, public and private keys, at a vault. If you lose it, then you can get it back. You can. It's like you have a locker, right? A bank locker. You don't feel safe to keep jewelry at home, so rather you would go to a bank and then purchase a locker, and then you keep all your valuables in the locker. So this is the same thing. So agent, so you can store your private key with this agent, and you can get it anytime you want. So that's agent. And escrow. Yeah, escrow is the same. Escrow is also the same. I mean, this is for recovery in case of loss, and this is the escrow is basically any archival system. Yeah, archival system. This is more of archival system. This is not about compromise or misplacing. This is mainly about the data archival purposes or data warehousing purposes. That's what that's what the escrow is, right? So anyway, so this presentation, right? Public key infrastructure. This is a if you it's a, I mean, this is a common subject, right? It's a common and then required subject. So if you for any type of job, whether you apply for network security engineer, cloud security engineer, mobile security, app security, AI security, doesn't matter. So this knowledge is required. You will be interacting, you will be working with the CAs, and there's a lot of automation that they do. I'll tell you one scenario, right? See, we just talked about here. See here, the expiration, right? Validity, not before, not after. So let's say if a certificate is valid for only 1 year, so, and when the expiration date is nearing, and if you forgot to renew the certificate for another year, right? And it will impact the business, isn't it? Because customers cannot continue using their website. So if customer cannot connect, they cannot do business. Imagine, your online banking, and if certificate has expired, you cannot log in. You cannot log into your bank, right? That's not right. So in that case, then what? And then imagine there are millions of servers, right? Millions and millions of servers. I mean, these ordinary, Bank of America, right? All over the world they have. Imagine how many servers they might have. Thousands and thousands, right? And each server, of course, it's all TLS, security, right? They don't do unsecure or insecure. Of course, it is a secured connections. So every secure connection will have a certificate, and every certificate will expire at some point. So now imagine keeping track of the expiration dates for these many servers, and not only keeping track, but then replacing the certificate. Because some certificates every day, every minute, certificates expire because they all start at different time, right? The certificate, some servers are created today, some servers created 10 months ago, some servers created a week ago, right? It on and off. So every day is an expiration date. So how do you keep up with it? How do you replace the old certificate with a new certificate? So that's where the automation comes into play. So there's a lot of more work and continuous work in terms of making sure the certificates are not expired and working as expected. All right. So yeah. So you maybe, I mean, you may not, but there are a bunch of tools like Venafi. And I don't know how many people have heard, but Venafi TPP, Trust Protection Platform, they are commercial vendors. So they have a tool. They have, I mean, Venafi is the tool. So there are tools available, and then there is something called HashiCorp. There are like Velocity is another one. So there are a bunch of like not a lot, but there are few vendors. So they have tools, and using those tools, yeah, you can do this automation. Keeping track of the expired certificates and then replacing it immediately before even they expire. So all such things, all this infrastructure, right? The PKI infrastructure. This guy we talked about PKI. So that can be automated using those tools. So yeah, so that's something you can keep in mind about the PKI. What else? Digital certificates. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I think that, yeah, there is one digital signatures. That's another a small topic. You know what? Let me just bring that up. This way, we are done with it. See, digital signatures. Yeah, okay, let me just quickly go through that. Yeah, so here, see digital signatures, right? So digital signatures, see, this is how it works. So this is one way, this is the other way, traffic. So the digital signatures, right? So what are these? And where do we use this, right? So digital signatures are, I mean, signature, right? So signature is it's a proof that you have authorized, right? It's a proof that you approved a document, right? You signed off a document. And paper-based signatures means, you take a pen and then you sign it at the bottom, right? At the bottom where your name is there, right? So that's the paper-based signature. Now electronic, called digital, right? So digital signatures, they work this way. As you see the arrows, right? That's how digitally signed. Paper and pen-based signatures versus digital signatures, right? So digitally, how it works. So this is how it works. So and then where do we use, right? I mean, everywhere you use it. WhatsApp. WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp, you just bring up the app, and then you type, "Hi, my friend," right? You type, you choose, you pick one number, one group or whatever, and then you say hi, right? Yeah, you send some, confidential message. Hey, my friend, can you please transfer $1,000 to my account number ABC 12345, right? You draft a message, right? And then you enter, so the message is gone, right? Your message has been delivered to your friend. So, but what's the guarantee that your friend has received the message intact, unaltered, right? What if someone intercepted the message and changed the account number? Hi, my friend, please transfer $1,000 to my account number 12345. And then the hacker replaced the account number 12345 by his account number. Now your friend receives this tampered, altered message. Okay, this I received from my friend, my best friend. So sure, let me transfer $1,000 to this account number, not knowing that message has been tampered. Yeah, your friend doesn't know. He thinks the message came from you. Okay. So then, whose responsibility it is? I mean, how this happened, and who is responsible? Is your friend responsible? I mean, your friend is like the sender, right? Is the sender responsible, or the recipient, your friend, who received the message, is responsible for this tampering of the messages? Who is responsible? None of you. No. The responsible party is WhatsApp, because they are the ones who is providing the platform. So they need to give us the assurance that the messages are unaltered, cannot be touched, cannot be modified. So that level of assurance, they are giving it to us. Yeah, I mean, when you download WhatsApp, right, there's a software, right? It's an app that gets downloaded. It's some not gigabytes, but it's some kilobytes or megabytes of software being downloaded to your phone. So that software has all those digital signatures, or the infrastructure, the code related to digital signatures, and that's this flow. So let's say on the left, you see a message body captured. So that is like when you type, "Hi, my friend, please transfer $1,000 to my account 12345." That is the message. So as soon as when you type it and when you press the button, the enter button, right? The send button, then the WhatsApp app captures your body. It captures your message. The message that you're trying to send. And then what WhatsApp does is see message hash calculate. The second arrow you see, message hash calculated. So that message that you're planning to send, it hasn't gone yet. It's still in your phone, right? And then the WhatsApp calculates the hash value. Hash value, right? We did that. MD5 hash, SHA-1, SHA-2, right? You calculated the hash. And then the sender's private key retrieved, right? So sender, you are the sender, and you will have a private key. WhatsApp, you are the sender. When you're sending a message, you will have your private key. Do you guys know where your private key is? I'm sure you must be using WhatsApp, right? So and I said there are digital signatures. So where is your private key then? Do you know? Do you know where your private key is? Anyone? Did WhatsApp give you private key? But there's got to be private key. There has to be a private key. There has to be public key. Any idea? So in WhatsApp, your private key. Your private key is generated automatically using your phone number. Yeah, using your phone number. So your phone number is part of the private key. It is not just the private key, but it is part of the private key. Okay, that's why WhatsApp, it is associated with the phone. You have to have the phone. You have to have the phone linked to it. If not, you cannot. Any message that you send is through the phone number, associated with the phone number, because that is the private key. Well, of course, they enhance it. It's not just the number, but they take your number as an input, and then they add a lot of other parameters, right? Security, encryption parameters, and then they generate a private key. That's the key that you have on your phone. And similarly, hash value encrypted with sender's private key. So then the hash value of the message is encrypted with your phone number, and then the encrypted the hash value will be appended or will be attached to the plain text message and will be sent out. So basically, when your WhatsApp message leaves your phone, there are two components. Two elements will be sent or released from your phone to your friend. The one is the encrypted hash value of the message, and the second thing is the message itself. The message itself, hi, my friend, please transfer. So that message plus the encrypted hash value of that message, both will be released or both will be sent out from your phone. So now the bottom one right here, see on this arrow, so message received, right? So now your friend received, right? What did he receive? He received two elements, right? The plain message versus the encrypted hash value. So both he received. So he will see an encrypted hash retrieved. See, and message body. So there are two items. See, encrypted hash retrieved, message body retrieved, because two elements here. And then the message hash is calculated, and then your friend has the public key. Your public key, right? So because that's how when you start, whenever you start a group, what is called a group or conversation, right, with your friend, when you go to contacts and then you choose your friend's number and then you say hi. So when you start your friend's number, then that's where the public and private key mechanism that gets generated. And that's where the both are exchanged, right? So now your friend will have your public key, and vice versa. When on the other side, if your friend is sending any message, right? Again, his phone number becomes part of the private key for himself, and then his public key will be delivered to you. So then only you both are like connected, like you both are online, you both are connected, you both can see each other, right? So it's vice versa. So both sides. So you have your public key and private key, and your friend will have a public and private key, and then you both exchange. Your friend will send you his public key, and you will send your public key to him. So that's how the mechanism. That's how it works. So this way, the message delivery, the integrity, right? Integrity means not change, right? So integrity is verified with the help of digital signatures. So digital signatures the purpose of digital signatures is only to make sure message integrity is maintained between multiple parties. That is the idea behind digital signatures, right? So never ever assume. I know in the past I asked the question, what is digital signature? A lot of people, they say, oops, they said it is a, in Adobe there is a signature, right? Electronic